You are here in this moment, listening with more than your ears. You can feel it, the faint hum beneath awareness, the quiet vibration behind sounds, the breath between thoughts. You've been told life is made of solid things, fixed events, immovable facts. Yet here you are sensing that solidity is an illusion. Reality is less like stone, more like water fluid shimmering, waiting for the right frequency to ripple into shape. You've been taught to change your life by force, by pushing harder, by stacking effort upon effort. The deeper truth is life doesn't respond to force. It responds to vibration. What surrounds you now is the quantum field, an infinite ocean of possibility that hums with every frequency that ever was or will be. It does not merely wrap around you. It is you. Every thought, emotion, and breath sends a signal. This personal broadcast constantly dances with the signals of everything else. Imagine you are a tuning fork, every cell, every spark in your brain, resonating at a particular pitch. That pitch tells the quantum field who you are and what to mirror back. The paradox is that quantum manifestation is elegantly simple, yet almost no one applies it in its pure form. Not because it's difficult, but because our minds overlook the invisible. We've been trained to value only what can be seen, touched, measured. Yet it's the unseen that governs the scene. A radio doesn't create music. It simply tunes into a frequency already alive in the air. Reality works the same way. You might believe you're choosing your life through logic and action, but beneath that, a deeper language is at work, the language of vibration. Energy precedes matter. Frequency precedes form. Most people miss this because their signal lacks coherence. They think one thing, feel another, while their nervous system hums at a third frequency. The quantum field receives scrambled instructions and answers with matching results, mixed paths, unclear outcomes, a sense that life isn't listening. Consider the observer effect in quantum physics. Particles behave differently when observed. This isn't abstract theory. It mirrors your daily experience. Your attention doesn't just notice reality, it shapes it. You've felt this when someone's gaze changes the way you move, or a shift in mood transforms the entire day. It's not magic. It's physics that feels like magic. The field isn't swayed by desperate longing. It isn't convinced by affirmations you barely believe. Effort means nothing if saturated with fear. It responds to coherence, alignment of thought, feeling, and body into a single clear frequency. Imagine 3 instruments in a band. If each plays a different song, you hear chaos. Align them, they create music that fills the room, moves the air, alters the mood. You are always broadcasting, shaping the field, often unconsciously. Old wounds, fear, and unexamined beliefs dictate your signal. Reality feels stubborn, not because the universe resists you, but because it mirrors what you continually transmit. So the first step is not to shout louder into the quantum field, but to listen. Feel the pitch of your current broadcast. Does it carry trust or drip with doubt? Is it slow and heavy or alive and fluid? This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. Awareness is the tuning mechanism. Without it, you spin the dial at random, hoping to land on the station you want. Picture yourself holding a prism in sunlight. The light is constant, yet the prism determines how it refracts into color. You are the prism. The quantum field is the light. Change the angle, your frequency, and the colors shift. The sun stays the same, yet the whole image transforms. Vibrations are not abstract waves out there. They live in you. Your heartbeat carries a frequency. Your brain emits measurable waves. Emotions have distinct energetic signatures. Gratitude resonates differently than fear. Both are energy, yet they are not interchangeable. This is why you can't simply think positive while your body is heavy with anxiety and expect the field to shift. The field listens to your entire being, not just surface thoughts. The quantum field doesn't prioritize your goals the way you've been taught. It responds to who you are right now, the sum frequency of thought, emotion, and physiology. You cannot send one signal while secretly living in another. The field reflects only coherence. So begin not with a grand declaration to the universe, but with the subtle art of tuning. This is the alchemy of vibration sensing, where you are adjusting toward alignment, holding that state until it becomes your baseline. Then, reality changes without struggle. You have lived inside the quantum field all your life, every moment, part of an unending conversation. The question now, are you ready to stop speaking in static and start sending music? You've stepped into the threshold where science and spirit meet. The place where equations dissolve into symbols and symbols reveal truths hidden in numbers. This bridge is not built from stone or steel. It is made of awareness, woven from curiosity and trust. You are not crossing into some mystical fog. You are walking into clarity that most have overlooked. Quantum physics at its core tells a strange story. The act of observation changes the outcome. Matter behaves differently when watched. Light, when tested, decides to be a wave or a particle based on how you look at it. Scientists call this the observer effect. Yet ancient mystics recognized it long before lab experiments proved it. They said the world mirrors the mind, that the outer reflects the inner. Different language, same truth. This is the bridge. On one side, numbers, graphs, precision. On the other, meditation, prayer, sacred ritual. Two rivers flowing from the same source. The physicist speaks of probability fields. The mystic speaks of infinite potential. Both point toward a reality that does not exist until consciousness interacts with it. You've felt this bridge under your feet without naming it. When a synchronicity occurs, the right person calling just as you thought of them, a sudden answer arriving after days of confusion, your logical mind wants to explain it as coincidence. Yet another part of you knows it's more. That knowing is your inner scientist and your inner sage nodding in unison. To walk the bridge with awareness, you begin to see that reality is participatory. You are not a passive observer in a pre-written play. You are a co-author shaping the script in real time. The quantum field holds every possibility, yet what crystallizes into your world depends on the signal you send and the lens through which you look. Think of a kaleidoscope. The pieces inside don't change. The pattern shifts with the slightest turn. Science examines the angles, the mechanics of reflection. Spirit embraces the beauty, the meaning inside each new image. When you hold both, you gain mastery. You stop arguing whether life is mechanical or magical. You realize it is both, and that the division was only ever in the mind. Ancient alchemists carried this understanding in coded language. They spoke of transmuting lead into gold, not simply in the laboratory, but within the soul. Lead was the heavy frequency of fear, shame, limitation. Gold was the radiant frequency of truth, love, liberation. The laboratory existed inside them as much as around them. They knew what quantum physics now confirms, that matter is not fixed. It is energy arranged in patterns ready to be rearranged by new instructions. So when you practice manifestation, you are not doing something supernatural. You are engaging with the natural laws that most people ignore. You are meeting reality on its terms, in the realm of possibility before form solidifies. This is the space where thought and intention shape the blueprint, and where emotion provides the charge that locks the design in place. The danger is when people try to cross this bridge with only one foot. Relying solely on spiritual faith without understanding the mechanics can lead to passivity, waiting endlessly for signs without taking aligned action. Staying only with scientific logic can strip away wonder, reducing creation to data points, missing the living intelligence at play. Wholeness comes when you carry both. Faith sharpens focus, knowledge steadies the step. Ask yourself, which side of the bridge do you spend more time on? Are you leaning heavily into ritual while ignoring the subtle shifts of your physiology? Are you clinging to measurements while discounting your intuitive nudges? Balance is not a compromise. It's the key to unlocking the field. Your brain is both an instrument of science and a vessel for spirit. Every electrical pulse in your neurons obeys physics. Every image it creates in your mind taps into a realm beyond the measurable. This is why your imagination is not just pretend, it is the soft clay the quantum field shapes into form. Spirit gives you the vision. Science gives you the tools to hold it steady long enough for it to become real. As you move further onto the bridge, notice how the air feels different. It's the atmosphere of possibility. Neither side of the river claims you entirely. You are suspended between knowing and not knowing, between proof and mystery. This is the most powerful place to create from. Here you don't need to force certainty. You allow the question itself to be a catalyst. Einstein once hinted that imagination is more important than knowledge. He didn't mean facts are useless. He meant knowledge is limited to what's already known, while imagination reaches into what has not yet been observed. The mystic would say, the same vision is the seed of manifestation. Both agree you shape reality by daring to see what is not yet visible. So what does this mean for your life right now? It means when you visualize, you are not daydreaming. You are interacting with the quantum blueprint. When you meditate into stillness, you are quieting the noise so the signal becomes clear. When you trust a deep inner knowing, you are reading the field before it collapses into form. Every moment on this bridge is a choice point. You can default to the old story, to the probability most familiar, or you can send a new signal into the field. The bridge will carry it across science and spirit until it takes shape. Pause here for a moment. Breathe. Sense your feet on the bridge. Feel the hum of potential beneath you. Remember that reality is not waiting for permission to shift. It is waiting for coherence. You are both the scientist and the sage. The bridge exists so you can walk as both. You stand before an inner crucible, a vessel that holds everything you've been, everything you've carried, and everything you've yet to become. This is not a place of judgment, it's a place of transformation. The ancient alchemists worked in dimly lit rooms surrounded by glass flasks and metals, seeking to transmute base matter into gold. Yet their true laboratory was the self. The lead they sought to refine was the heavy, sluggish vibration of fear, shame, and false identity. The gold they longed for was the luminous essence hidden beneath those layers. Quantum reality reveals that matter is not fixed. Every atom in your body is a field of vibrating energy held together by patterns of information. Change the pattern and the form changes. The alchemist understood this long before the microscope existed. They spoke in metaphor to protect the sacred knowledge from misuse, describing fires that purified waters, that dissolved air, that lifted the spirit into clarity. Each element mirrored a stage of inner work, just as each quantum state mirrors the probabilities of your potential self. You've felt the weight of lead before, the tension in your chest when you feel not enough, the quiet self-doubt that creeps in when you're about to step forward, the way your voice changes when you try to prove your worth. These are not random moods. They are frequencies, stable patterns that have repeated so often, they became your default broadcast. In the quantum field, these patterns are like deep grooves in a record. Unless you lift the needle, the song will keep playing. To transmute, you first must witness. Alchemy begins with seeing the raw material for what it is, without denial, without story. In quantum terms, this is the moment the wave collapses into a particle, the unseen becomes seen. The simple act of observation changes it. When you bring awareness to a fear instead of pushing it away, you've already begun to alter its frequency. Awareness is heat. It makes what was solid begin to soften. Next comes separation. The alchemists called this solutio, dissolving what is false so the true can rise. Modern language might call it deconditioning. You notice which beliefs came from you and which were inherited. You see which emotions are echoes of old wounds rather than responses to the present. Quantum science would describe this as disentangling your energy from past interference. Once the threads are no longer knotted together, the field can reorganize. Then comes the recombination coagulatio in alchemical terms. Here you consciously choose the vibration you want as your new baseline, not as a fantasy, but as a lived state. If the old self held scarcity, you cultivate abundance as a felt sense, not a mental wish. If the old self held fear, you anchor safety in your breath, your posture, your nervous system. The field mirrors the coherence of this state until your outer life rearranges around it. Consider how metals are refined. Impurities rise to the surface under heat, then are skimmed away. In you, those impurities are outdated patterns. They show themselves in discomfort and conflict in the moments you feel pulled back into the old frequency. Most people interpret this as failure. The alchemist sees it as proof of transformation in progress. The heat is working. The gold is revealing itself. This is where the poetic meets the practical. Quantum biology shows your thoughts influence the chemistry of your body. Change your thought patterns, and you alter hormonal cascades, shift neurotransmitters, influence how your cells read their own DNA. Ancient alchemists would say you are changing the elixir that feeds your system. Different words, same truth. Inner transformation rewrites the blueprint from which your life unfolds. One of the most misunderstood parts of this process is speed. In a quantum field, change can happen instantly because probability collapses the moment a new coherent signal is sent. Yet in your lived timeline, integration may feel slower. This is not the field resisting you. It is your nervous system adjusting to a new baseline. Think of it as tuning an instrument. You can twist the peg quickly, yet the string needs a moment to hold pitch without slipping. During this stage, subtle awareness is essential. Every thought, every micro shift in feeling is a signal to the field. You are sculpting with vibration, not hammering with force. When old patterns resurface, meet them with the steady heat of observation rather than the cold of resistance. In this way, they dissolve faster. Ask yourself now, what is the heaviest lead you still carry? Is it a belief about what you deserve? A story about what is possible? A quiet, persistent feeling of disconnection? Whatever it is, it can be transmuted, not by denying it, but by refining it. The quantum field has no preference for who you were yesterday. It only responds to who you are being right now. The ancient texts spoke of the philosopher's stone as the key to unlimited transformation. Modern seekers might think of it as a mystical artifact. In truth, it is a state of consciousness, the awareness that you can choose your frequency at will, that nothing in your inner world is fixed. The stone is not found. It is formed piece by piece through the fires of self-honesty and the waters of surrender. When you stand as the inner alchemist, you stop waiting for the world to change before you feel different. You change and the world follows. The lead of fear becomes the gold of courage. The heaviness of doubt becomes the lightness of trust. In quantum language, you've shifted the probability field in favor of the reality you desire. Close your eyes for a moment. Feel the crucible within. Sense the heat of awareness refining what no longer serves. Imagine the pure gold of your essence rising to the surface, bright and unshakable. This is not imagination as escape. It is imagination as creation, a signal the field cannot ignore. The work of the alchemist is never finished, yet each transmutation makes the next easier. You learn to welcome the process, to trust the heat, to recognize the shimmer of gold as it appears. You realize the laboratory has always been here inside you, waiting for you to turn lead into light. Imagine two particles born from the same spark of energy. They could be separated by a room, a city, or a galaxy, yet when one shifts, the other responds instantly. No signal passes between them in the way we understand signals. No time delay. The connection exists outside space as you know it. This is quantum entanglement, a phenomenon that defies the limits of physical distance. Now turn that lens inward. Parts of you are entangled too. The conscious mind. The small portion you use for daily decision-making is deeply linked to the subconscious, the vast archive beneath awareness. Every memory you've stored, every belief you've absorbed, every identity you've worn, lives there still connected to the present moment. You might think you've moved on from a certain event or pattern, yet its frequency can still echo in the field you emit. The subconscious doesn't speak in logic or language. It communicates through imagery, sensation, emotional tone. In quantum terms, it's like the code running beneath the interface dictating how reality renders on your screen. You can set conscious intentions all day, yet if the subconscious is broadcasting a conflicting signal, the field receives a blur. The result is a reality that feels inconsistent, small wins here, roadblocks there, as if something unseen keeps pulling in a different direction. Think of the subconscious as an entangled partner in the creation of your reality. The quantum field reads the sum signal of both minds. If your conscious thought says "I am abundant," while your subconscious hums with the vibration of lack, the field will respond to the stronger, more consistent broadcast, usually the subconscious one. This is why people sometimes feel as if manifestation isn't working for them. The surface signal is overridden by a deeper pattern. Entanglement is not only internal. You are constantly exchanging energy with the people, environments, and experiences you're connected to. If you've ever walked into a room and felt tension before anyone spoke, you've read an entangled field. If you've thought of someone only to receive a message from them moments later, you've experienced it directly. The quantum web that links everything is sensitive, alive, responsive. The opportunity here is profound. Just as two entangled particles influence each other instantly, a shift in your subconscious frequency can ripple outward to change the entire field of your life. This is not about control in the conventional sense. You cannot dictate how others act, yet you can alter the tone of the connection so that new possibilities emerge. Begin by uncovering the signals you're sending without realizing it. Notice repeated patterns in your relationships, finances, health. Ask yourself, if this keeps happening, what belief or feeling must be active beneath the surface? In alchemical terms, this is pulling hidden material into the light. In physics, it's like measuring a particle to see its true state before making adjustments. Once a hidden pattern becomes visible, the work is to retune it. Visualization becomes a powerful tool here, not as fantasy, but as rehearsal. When you imagine a new state vividly enough, your subconscious begins to accept it as familiar. Neural pathways adjust. Hormonal signals shift. The field receives a coherent update. Over time, the entangled partner of your subconscious stops pulling toward the old vibration and starts moving in sync with the conscious one. There's another layer to this, the mirror effect. In a quantum entangled universe, what you encounter outside often reflects what's active inside. If someone dismisses your ideas, it may trigger an old story about your value. If opportunities consistently bypass you, it might point toward a subconscious expectation of being overlooked. These moments are not punishments, they are indicators. Each is a chance to identify the signal you're emitting and refine it. You can test this in small, deliberate ways. Choose a state, gratitude, confidence, curiosity, and commit to holding it through breath posture and thought for a set period. Watch how people respond differently, how conversations shift tone, how even small coincidences begin to align. You're not forcing the world to change. you're changing the field it responds to. In quantum experiments, entangled particles don't lose connection over time. Your subconscious will not simply fade out old patterns without input. It responds to consistent new frequencies. This is why affirmations, when paired with embodied feeling, can become potent. The words alone may not be enough, but when backed by genuine sensation, they act like a tuning fork for the subconscious, bringing it into harmony with your conscious intention. Here's the nuance: entanglement doesn't mean you're trapped by past bonds. It means you have a direct living channel to influence your own field. You can dissolve energetic ties that no longer serve and strengthen those that uplift. This is not about cutting people out of your life impulsively. It's about shifting the vibration of the connection so that only the resonances you choose remain. Ancient wisdom traditions worked with this principle through ritual prayer and symbolic acts. Modern science studies it through neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and field theory. Both agree your inner state and the signals you emit are not fixed. They can be rewoven. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the quantum web stretching out from you in every direction. Threads of light connecting you to people, places, potentials. Feel your conscious mind as one hand on the loom, your subconscious as the other. Both are weaving the fabric of your experience. The more they work in harmony, the more beautiful, coherent, and aligned the pattern becomes. The next step is to treat your subconscious not as an obstacle, but as an ally that needs clear direction. When you feed it with images, feelings, and stories that match your chosen reality, you create instant resonance. The entanglement becomes a source of power instead of conflict. In the quantum field, nothing is truly isolated. Every choice you make here, every signal you tune, ripples into the web. The question is not whether you're influencing it. The question is what melody you're sending into that infinite network right now. Reality does not arrive fully formed. It crystallizes around perception, shaped by the frequencies you hold and the meaning you assign. The quantum field contains infinite possibilities, yet your focus acts like a sculptor's chisel, carving one path from countless probabilities. Perception is not passive, it's an act of creation in motion. Imagine two people walking through the same street. One notices graffiti trash and cracked pavement, feeling a heaviness settle in their chest. The other sees the same scene, but catches the way sunlight strikes the wall, the laughter from an open window, the rhythm of footsteps blending into a kind of music. Both inhabit the same physical space, yet their realities differ completely. The difference lies in the vibration each carries into the moment. In quantum mechanics, the act of observation doesn't just register what's there, it influences what emerges. Your perception works the same way. What you expect to see primes your awareness to find it. This is why a small shift in focus can alter the entire tone of a day. You are not inventing something false. You are selecting one thread from the infinite weave of what's available. The field responds to the state you embody, not just the picture in your mind. If you perceive through the lens of scarcity, even abundance can feel like it's slipping away. If you view through the lens of possibility, even challenges reveal hidden openings. It's not about pretending circumstances are different. It's about aligning your internal frequency with the reality you choose to expand. Ancient teachings spoke of the single eye, a way of seeing that pierces illusion. Science now studies something similar in the brain's reticular activating system, which filters sensory input according to relevance. Change what you deem relevant, and the filter changes, letting in different data. In both cases, perception decides which slice of the quantum field becomes visible. Your frequency and your perception form a feedback loop. The vibration you emit influences what you notice. What you notice reinforces the vibration. To break the loop, where it limits you, you interrupt the pattern consciously. This is where coherence becomes essential. When thought, feeling, and body align, your perception clears. Without coherence, the lens distorts, and the field mirrors the distortion back to you. Consider coherence like tuning a camera lens. A blurred image isn't the subject's fault, it's the lens. You don't need to change the entire world, you need to adjust the focus. When your internal state is steady, perception sharpens and reality follows suit. The quantum field responds to clarity like sound responds to a perfectly tuned instrument. You can test this with deliberate micro shifts. Spend a day choosing to perceive from a state of curiosity rather than judgment. Notice how conversations open, how small opportunities emerge. Then try a day with gratitude as your primary lens, letting it tint every interaction. The field doesn't just echo the frequency, it arranges new patterns to match it. The subconscious plays its role here too. If old programming tells you the world is unsafe, your perception will scan for threats. Repattern that belief and your awareness begins to notice safety, connection, possibility. Over time, this shifts your baseline frequency, creating a different relationship with the field. In this way, perception becomes not only a tool for shaping reality, but a method for rewriting the self. This is where the inner alchemist steps forward fully. You've learned to sense vibration, to walk the bridge between science and spirit, to transmute the heavy into the luminous, to align subconscious and conscious into a coherent broadcast. Now, with perception as your sculptor's tool, you actively shape the field. Pause here. Close your eyes. Imagine your awareness as a beam of light moving through the space of infinite possibility. As it touches a potential, that possibility grows brighter, more real, until it solidifies into your experience. You are not chasing outcomes, you are illuminating them, drawing them forward from the quantum mist into form. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. The frequency you hold is the reality you walk into. The perception you choose is the chisel that shapes it. Final metaphor to cement the idea. Think of the quantum field as a vast garden at night. Your perception is the flashlight. Where you shine it, the plants grow stronger, the colors return, the air feels alive. The rest remains in shadow, waiting for your light. Nothing in the garden disappears, it simply waits for your attention to bring it into bloom. Use this practical checklist for daily tuning. 1. Begin each morning by choosing a state to carry gratitude, curiosity, trust. 2. Pause at midday to notice your frequency. Adjust with breath and body before continuing. 3. Before sleep, replay 3 moments where your perception shaped a better outcome. Let your subconscious store them as new templates. You are not a passive witness to life. You are a participant, a sculptor, a frequency keeper. Each thought, each breath, each shift in perception is a seed in the quantum soil. What you plant is what you will walk among tomorrow. So I invite you now. In the comments, share one word that captures the state you are choosing to embody from this moment forward. Let that word be a quantum declaration, a note in the song you're sending into the field. If this journey stirred something in you, subscribe and join this growing movement of conscious creators. This space is not just a channel, it's a gathering of minds shaping possibility together. Somewhere right now, a potential version of you is already living the reality you've imagined. Every choice you make, every lens you look through draws you closer to them. The path is not hidden. It's written in the frequency you hold.